Round the Way Podcast, your boy Beezy checking in today.
Your boy Merk, you already know. We got a special guest here tonight.
Got a special guest, man. Top lawyer from Jamaica. Introduce yourself, boss.
Bless up, everybody. kou Clarke here, attorney kou.
How you doing, kou?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. Man.
Appreciate you coming, man.
Absolutely, I had to.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, kou. Somebody I see on Instagram all the time. I'm like, yo, this the young man, Jamaican. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, that's Jamaican. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
pretty cool. I see him doing it. He moving, and he used to run track. Like, you know what I mean? It's I kind of like the young black dude too. I'm like, look like he young. Let me see what's up. What you about? So when I found out that you were somebody I could reach, I'm like, yo, I got to bring you on the podcast.
I appreciate it, man. Y'all doing big things as well, so I'm honored to be here.
Thank you.
Respect. So introduce yourself, man. Let the people know about you and your upbringing and, you know.
All right. I mean, again, man, blessed to be here. Again, kou Clarke. People always ask me where the name comes from, like what it means. Mm-hmm. So it means warrior. You know, it's French African, French New Guinea. My dad named me off secretary, and I feel like my whole life has embodied the meaning. You know, so born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. My dad is Michael Clarke, well-known coach. So basically, my whole life was track and field because my mom's side of the family did track as well.
Yeah. So
thank God I was able to get good in track. That's how I pretty much built my name. Got a scholarship to the U.S., to University of Florida. Go Gators. Ran there for 4 years. You know, did well, All-America, national champ, national records. Ran pro track for like a little bit, and then did my MBA. Then after I finished my MBA, that's when I went to law school. And after it's crazy because right now I practice immigration law and personal injury. And when I was in law school, I said, man, there's no way I'm going to do immigration law because it's too cliche.
Yeah.
Too cliche. And it just wasn't, you know? So when I came out of law school, I was doing personal injury law. And I was at a random event and this dude approached me, white dude in a suit in some Carolina Jordans. And he's like, yo, you look like you'd be like a good fit for my firm. So I was like, all right. He made me an offer, took it, but he's like, I want you to open the immigration side of the practice as well as doing personal injury. So I was like, all right, I'll take it on. And from the first 2 months I did immigration, it was just like immediate love, immediate passion, and the business just exploded. So after that, I went on my own, opened up my own practice, just me and one assistant, and it just took off. You know, It took off from me, one assistant, to now, you know, we have 4 locations, staff of 15, and we keep on growing.
That's what's up. Yeah. But you skipped past a lot a while ago, man, because you said your father was a big coach in Jamaica.
Yeah.
A track coach.
Yeah.
And what high school did you go to in Jamaica?
Man, there's only one high school to talk about in Jamaica. Jamaica College, JC, blue and white, color blue, fervent, all day.
Okay, you know, them JC people they be bossy and high.
All day. So
did you run champs? You got champs and anything there?
Yeah, man.
You compete on the champs side?
Yeah, man.
My bad, all right.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man, that's how I came up, you know, through champs. I think, so I won an event in every single class except for class 1. I got second.
And what is class 1?
So like class 1 would be equivalent to like your senior year.
Okay, all right.
So you know, I was pretty dominant at champs.
And then did you that's from high school, you got a scholarship to come?
I got a track scholarship to University of Florida.
Ooh.
Yeah. Bless.
Up in Gainesville, you're a Gator.
Up in Gainesville, man. Gator, man.
Yeah.
Gator. So, I mean, always thankful and humbled for that opportunity.
That's what's up, man. What's up. And how was it coming from Jamaica? Have you ever traveled? Oh, you're a track, so you had to travel before that.
Yeah.
Go places, yeah.
I mean, it was still a huge culture shock. Huge culture shock. Leaving Jamaica high school, coming to the US.
Yeah.
Just huge culture difference, man. Huge culture difference. I remember one of the first team meetings I was in, and hearing the athletes cuss to the coach I was like, yo. I was like, what?
In Jamaica, that can't happen.
In Jamaica, you can't play that, man. You get hemmed up really, really quick.
Yeah.
Really, really quick. So,
Jamaica different culture.
yeah, man. I was like, what?
Yeah, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
what? So, huge culture shock, but, you know, you have to adapt and make the most of it.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah.
what's up. So, all right, now you said now, being a lawyer now, and you said that white guy walked up to you. What's that guy? Who was that guy? Is that guy still in your life right now? Do y'all still talk from the first from him get out first boss? You know what I mean? Or you won't look at it that way.
No, man, he definitely gave me our first boss. I always give him a huge respect for that.
Yeah.
You know, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have probably pursued immigration the way how I did. You know, his name is Jonathan Simon, and he's the one. So when I went to his firm, and he was my age, and he had a massive firm, 17 attorneys, I was like, how is this guy this young doing it this big? So I made it my point of duty to get as close to him as possible. So at the time, I was like, all right, he wanted to get fit. So I said, I'll train you in the mornings before we go into the office. And started to train him, and that's how he gave me the blueprint of how he grew his firm eventually. So I took that blueprint, modified it, made it my own, and that's what I took with me. So I'll always have major respect for him. Always, 100%.
That's cool.
So how long it's been since you opened your own firm?
So my firm is a little bit over 5 years old. A little bit over 5 years old.
Sweet.
So it's been a hell of a ride, man. It's been a hell of a journey.
Over 5 years now, and how long you been a lawyer? You said 7 years?
Almost 7.
Damn.
Yeah, well, I'm good, brother.
2 years.
Yeah, man. It feels long.
On a firm.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And why would, okay, so I think I can answer, but I still gotta ask it though. You know what I mean? So an immigration lawyer compared to like a criminal lawyer,
Yeah.
you say it's not as because why? You're not gonna really hear about no immigration lawyer.
Yeah. Why you say
Exactly.
that?
Like, I know
exactly,
you
yeah.
Johnny
Yeah.
or you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Rob Kardashian.
Yeah, I forget. That's
not-
true.
it's not
Yeah.
as- But
Yeah.
you know what? Me and my team made it.
Yeah.
Me and my team made it.
You think-
We really changed the game. How immigration lawyers advertise. I mean, we definitely made an imprint on how immigration lawyers go about, you know,
Business.
doing videos, advertising. You know what I'm saying? Going out there well dressed 100% of the time.
And then you Jamaica, yard man too. So
Exactly.
that's like an extra drive to it. You being a yard man and then you being an immigration lawyer.
Yeah.
Saving your own people, helping your own people out over
Exactly.
here. That's yeah.
And then at the end of the day, that has been the most like fulfilling part. You know, like seeing people who I see myself in them. Because I mean, I had my own immigration struggle. You know, so
Talk about it, man.
yeah, man. I mean, I've been here because like there was a period of time in between when I graduated from college and I was training. I was out of status.
In limbo.
Yeah, in limbo, out of status, couldn't travel back to Jamaica, couldn't work legally. And
After you graduated.
after
Damn, that's
I
crazy.
graduated college, and I mean that's a very common story. You know, that's a very
real?
common story. Yeah, most Americans don't understand that.
Nah, we don't.
At all.
Yeah, that 75% of illegal immigration in the U.S. is not the narrative that they feed. That is people crossing the border. Most of illegal immigration takes place of people who enter the country legal.
Yeah.
They either on a tourist visa, either
Overstayed.
student visa, and they overstayed. You know, and thankfully I had a really good immigration lawyer that was able to fix it for me eventually. I mean, I got denied like 3 times, man, and it was a very, very traumatic experience. So that's why when I practice now and I'm able to represent my clients in court, it's a different type of angle because I know exactly what they feel, exactly what they're going through.
Yeah.
Okay, but like you being a lawyer right now and seeing that the other side now, what was it now that made you feel like you got turned down those 3 times?
Yeah, good question. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
That is a good question. Honestly, I got denied the 3 times. I don't think it's just bad luck. Like
you look like a smart guy. Look like you passed the 3 questions.
Yeah, man. The immigration officers that I got, just wasn't having it, and like that's the unfortunate thing about immigration. Like I've done cases where I say people who are 100% legitimate, they have a great case, but because they get a bad officer, and I say bad officer meaning an officer who isn't reviewing their file properly, isn't adhering to particular laws, or they're just having a bad day and they're like, no, you are not going to get approved today. Not on my watch. And I've seen that happen.
I like that.
Time and time again.
I like that because the first thing jumped to my head. Sorry, but the first thing come to my head, but I just jumped up and said some racial profiling or something, but probably it's not even that.
No, honestly, so I remember when I was applying for my citizenship, and that was the first time I ever experienced being discriminated against in the United States.
Damn.
And it was a Jamaican woman.
Oh,
It was a Jamaican woman. I applied for my citizenship, right? And by this time I was still in law school. And the stuff that the lady asked me for, she kept on asking me if I was a criminal, if I was a part of a gang multiple times. And me knowing the law, I was like, you have that information in front of you, know that I am not. And she did not approve me for citizenship, even though I was eligible. I didn't have a criminal record. She asked me for 7 years tax return, which is, normally they ask for 2, maybe 3. She asked me for 7 years. I provided her with everything. And she couldn't give me a reason why she didn't recommend me, didn't approve my citizenship. And I had to write to the state senator, right? And this went on for like 2 years. And I had to write to the senator. And they looked at the case and they moved it to another officer. Sure. And within 3 weeks, they called me for my citizenship interview. Yeah, man, she
I would have remembered her, boy.
She dealt with me.
I would have write her name down and remembered her.
She dealt with me wicked, man. Man.
And look now.
And it's just unfortunate that, someone that looks like me, sounds like me, treated me that badly for no reason. I've never met her a day in my life.
And badness, bad mind. Some people born,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very, very unfortunate. But it's part of the journey, and it makes me understand and appreciate life better. But more importantly, it helps me to represent my clients even better. It helps me to train my team to be empathetic, to fully know what's going on in these people's lives and give a different type of representation.
Okay. So now, cool. Now I'm gonna go into some look a bit more trendy or a hot topic. You know what I mean? It took me a while for me to actually say, I like Trump.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna say it. So y'all gonna put me up on the track. It took me a while to say that right there. Because my parents are immigrants. You know what I mean? Most of my family members are immigrants. I was born here. But it's just I couldn't vote for him. You know what I mean? Even when I went there to vote, I just still voted for Biden. But in my heart, I'm like, yo, I like what Trump was doing. So my question is, do you think Trump deserves the bad rep he gets in the country on immigration status for like, you know what I mean? Like even for Jamaicans and like Caribbean countries, like for getting deportation? Because I don't feel like Trump sent back that much people compared to like Obama did. And nobody talks about that right there. And Trump gets the worst, you know what I mean? I feel like it was more like propaganda with Trump than actual people getting sent back home and people getting pulled over and getting sent home. Like, I didn't see it that much in Trump time. Compared to Obama time, we know enough people who get flinged on in the Obama time for simple shit.
Yeah, I mean...
So my question I'm asking is, my question I was asking is, do you think that Trump was good for the country in his time, immigration-wise? Like, for people?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this is coming from somebody who used to be a Trump fan, right? I used to be a Trump fan, and this is coming from somebody who doesn't lean left or right in terms of being a Democrat or a Republican. I've voted both ways before. What Trump did during his stint for xenophobia, he weaponized immigration, and then he used it to where people who are of a different nationality or a different origin were now targeted just because they were from a different nationality, from a different origin. He weaponized the word immigration, but he went beyond weaponizing it. The rhetoric that he was putting out there was as if immigration only meant Mexicans crossing the borders who are rapists and immigrants are coming and using up the
Jobs
country's resources and jobs, where, as I said earlier, illegal immigration, the majority of illegal immigration does not
Cross the border.
come
Stuff
from
like that,
people
yeah.
crossing the border, right? So that was the biggest thing that I found very, very unfortunate. And when people can say that, well, immigrants are here taking people's jobs. I mean, which jobs are immigrants taking? I mean, right now in the US, you have one of the biggest job shortages in recent time, to the point where they have had to expand work visas and employment visas because people are not working. So the unskilled labor, no, they have to rely on immigrants. But people always overlook those statistics and go for, as you said, I'll use your word, propaganda, instead of looking at the facts. And that is what I really disliked. And as I was mentioning to you earlier, the biggest issue that I had with Trump was the creation of Trumpism. Trumpism, as you know, when during Trump's era,
4 years, yeah.
you had a increase the nationalistic mindset. Granted, I'm all for America first.
What do you mean by nationalistic? That American power?
More white people start coming out showing their
Correct. Correct.
But once you feel like, me personally, I feel like the media showed you that more. I feel like the media.
That's what they pushed that. Yes,
they was going against Trump.
Yes.
They pushed that propaganda.
Yes.
Yo, all these old boys, all these old red.
Look at these people coming out vote for Trump. Yeah,
You know
with
what I
Trump.
I gotta
Yeah.
I can't go for the propaganda, but boss, 'cause why? Like for instance, been getting killed. Since Trump came out, bro, they acting like niggas not getting killed no more. I don't even see it on TV no more.
They still,
and I know niggas still getting killed.
they still around too.
Yeah.
Them still the white supremacists and all that was out just a couple years ago. What the media was
They
pushing
still
out.
out.
I know they still out.
Why we not see them no more?
And this is what I was gonna say. All right. So you see how you said a majority of the immigrants is not people that cross the border
Or smuggled, yeah.
and smuggle.
Yeah.
So you don't think Trump has no knowledge of that?
I'm sure he does, but his base,
So yeah,
they don't care about that.
that's what I'm trying to say. So do you think he attacked those immigrants that cross the border and the other stuff because of the way they enter the country?
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I am 100% against illegal immigration. Everybody should join the line, just like everybody else. That whole border thing, I mean, the immigration system has been broken for a while, right? Something needs to be done to, for lack of better terms, fix what is going on at the border and what has been going on at the border for years. So I always tell people, yes, I'm an immigration attorney, but at the end of the day, I am 100% for legal immigration. I'm against illegal immigration because at the end of the day, it is unfair to people who are trying to come here legally, but the system is clogged up, so it slows them down, right? But again, the major issue that I had, right, was
The weapon is out. Yeah, man.
just the weaponization.
Yeah, man.
Just like Martin Luther King said, right? The biggest thing that slavery did to quote unquote black people. I mean, it wasn't the oppression, it wasn't the taking away the culture, it wasn't any of that. It was the stigma that was now attached with black skin. That anything black is either less than or dangerous. Right? And I think that is the biggest issue. I mean, even we as people of color, there's a stigma in our mind that even if we see somebody that looks like us, you don't automatically go to the good thought.
That's true.
Yeah. And what do you think created that?
Yeah, that's up,
right.
You're right.
Yeah.
When I think about it,
Exactly.
yeah, you're right. Because I'll be somewhere in front of a certain environment, and I'll just see a certain type. I'll be like, oh, well, that's probably also
Exactly. So it's the stigma, and that is what I associated with Trumpism, is creating a stigma of being an immigrant, of having an accent, of being from a different country, that just because of that, you are no less than.
I like that.
But I don't know. I mean, with the whole Trump, I think, because how I look at it, that's why I asked you if you don't think Trump know that those type of immigrants are in here, are in that statistic. But I really feel like Trump, the reason why he goes so hard at the Mexicans and them, because of the way that they entered the country. I feel like that's why you say he weaponized it, but I feel like that's why he.
Yeah. What about he really exposing, like, okay, like for instance, right? I'm gonna tell you why I wasn't mad at Trump about that. You know why? Brother, I'm from Florida, Miami to be exact. When them Haitians come here on sand, they get sent back home. The Cubans, them come here.
Wet foot, dry
They
foot.
got a whole policy for them.
Wet foot, dry foot.
So when I see that kind of stuff right there, it's like, okay, Trump is making this even on all playing fields. When I say immigrants, I'm talking about Chicos, every one of y'all. I want all, like he was just making it more fair. You know what I mean? It was just always black people just getting sent back. I feel like Trump was like, man, listen, let me get on these Mexicans, let me get on these.
Yeah, because there's enough of them that just coming in here the same way as these other people, and they ain't getting with.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I mean, if we look at the facts, right? I mean, Haitians got TPS, right? Temporary protected status, right? So what that means, Haitians that came here, even if they crossed the border, they could get a work permit, right? They could live here.
When is that though? When that happened? That's new.
No, that's not new.
That's not new?
No, that's not new. And that's what I'm
Teach, man.
Huh?
Teach us.
That's what I'm talking about. So people don't know about that stuff.
Talking.
Yeah, and I mean, there are other African nations that have TPS as well. And you know what? When Trump came in, what did Trump do to the TPS for Haitians?
Take away?
Yeah. He put an end date to it.
Damn.
He put an end date to it. However, it failed on the federal level and they expanded it. Yeah. Then Biden came in, so it's now expanded.
Okay.
So I mean, there have been stuff in place for immigrants of color, but you're not going to hear about it because it doesn't sell.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't sell.
Yeah. Okay, so like for instance, I seen the other day, I don't know if it's some Ukrainian peoples or Cubans, something like that right there. And when they was coming here, they was getting work permits, money.
And I mean,
17,500. I think about 18,000.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Ukrainians just the other day because of what was going on.
Yeah. So how come none of those things are for those black countries like a Jamaica?
No. Again, Ukraine got TPS, just like Haiti.
So Jamaica don't have that?
No, Jamaica don't have TPS because in order for a country to qualify for temporary protected status, there has to be some type of
war or something going on.
War, some type of political or natural disaster going on in the country.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, the way how America was built, it was designed as a place that should be a place of refuge for the world, for people who have suffered, for people to escape to. That's why you have the term refugees. How was the U.S. built? U.S. took all of the Europeans that didn't want them. That was how the U.S. was created. So that is how the whole culture of U.S. was built. So that's why when I say people want to cut it off, no, I mean, that was how U.S. was built. How did the Irish get here? How did the British get here? How did the Jews get here? It was a place of refuge. So why stop it now? I mean, or just all of a sudden, you know what? we're too good for this right now. Everybody, all shop lock.
Not true.
You know, when that is the main basis.
How the country was built.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's my problem. That is the issue I had. I mean, did Trump have good financial policies that benefited me? Absolutely, 100%. I will never deny that. But as an immigrant,
you got to be
myself.
Yeah, you can't just be a sellout. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. So again,
I can't even say be a sellout because I can't even look at that way right there because I don't think I'm a sellout. But I'm not an immigrant, so I probably look at it differently. Even though my parents are immigrants, but I don't know. I just feel like it'd be a lot of propaganda with stuff, man. And it's like when I see certain things like that, it's like they say that's the reason. Like you know what I mean? They say certain things like TPS. I never heard of a TPS before. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that how come we don't know that?
Yeah. First time I'm hearing about that.
Yeah, and I mean those things have been available, but again, it doesn't lend to any of the narratives or the movements that they try to put out there. It doesn't sell. Okay,
we have some question now. Our next one now. We have some question. We have some virgin now who get deported and sent back home and then they're yard now for over 10 years. And there wasn't a violent crime or nothing. They want to know, I want to know, like, is there any way that they could come back and come to the system? Or is like have you ever seen that? Have you ever did a case like that for somebody that got sent home and got back home?
Absolutely.
And got back here?
But usually it's where the crime was like non-violent, like 100% non-violent, and it doesn't involve...
Say a drug case probably.
No, but it doesn't involve a firearm charge or a drug charge. So. I wanted to affect every aspect of immigration. So we do a lot of deportation cases. So we're in court. We do administrative cases. So administrative cases is like, parent, child, those are the typical cases. And we do heavy business investment type of visa. So we've been having like a lot of businesses, like we bring the businesses from other countries here, or we bring a business employee, or if they want to invest $1 million or more, we through the EB5 visa, we get them a green card through that as well.
What's the EB5 visa?
Yeah, so an EB5 visa is an investment type visa, whereas if you are investing $1.05 million in a new or existing business that's going to create U.S. jobs, you'll get a green card.
Big boy thing.
But you'd be surprised at how many people take advantage of it. Jamaicans, South Americans, even Mexicans.
That's that. Damn, I
never
knew that.
But you won't hear about it. You're going to only hear about people crossing the border. You're not going to hear about all of the South Americans that are dropping $1.05 million and creating U.S. jobs.
So you saying
getting their green card.
So you saying me, I have my money and I want to open up a business in America.
Let's put my million.
Have my million. I got the money ready. Financially, I'm ready.
Yeah.
After that, what I do?
So you contact us, and we either find you a business to invest in, or we help you with creating a new business.
And how long is the process for me? How long would the process take for me to eventually be able to come to America? And
I mean, under 6 months.
You see, people don't know.
Under 6 months. Yeah, under 6 months. So, and I've been trying to push the whole narrative to Jamaicans, especially, is that you don't have to marry somebody to get your green card. You don't have to. I do the green cards for athletes. I've been doing a lot of athletes green cards, the visas for the entertainers as well. That's available. So, I mean, you can use your talent, you can use your education. You even have green cards available if you have like a master's degree and the job that you're doing is of heavy importance to the US, then you can get a green card through an EB2. So there are so many different ways out there outside of the marriage way. But you know what? Culturally, that's how we know, and that's how we hear about. You know?
And what are some tips you can give the people in that Jamaica? Not even say Jamaica, anywhere in the next country, a small island, and they wanna come to get their paper, get their visa, when they go to the embassy in Jamaica, what are the tips, some tips you could give them?
So definitely, if you're trying to get a non-immigrant visa is like tourist visa.
Yeah, or something.
All right.
A 5-year visa or something.
Be 100% honest. Like, do not lie. Do not lie. Like, if they ask you, for instance, do you have any family in the US? They already know the answer to that question. Do not lie about it. Because once you lie, boom, you're done. If you're going to go to, if they ask you, where are you going in the US? Don't just say Georgia. Or don't just say Atlanta. Be
specific.
I'm going to Johnny
100
Bravo at Pembroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
All right.
100% specific.
Yeah.
Right? If you are married in Jamaica, don't say you're single.
They know.
They know. They know. And then I've seen a lot of people get jammed up as of late is on their B2 visa interview, they told the officer that they are not married and they don't have any children, right? So they know they enter the US, they get married, they are a green card holder, and now they are applying for the citizenship. I've seen them look and say, hey, when you applied for your B2 visa
What did you say?
in 2012, you said you were single. We have records here now that show that you were actually married. So that was a misrepresentation. Boom. We're denying your citizenship and we're taking your green card because it was acquired through a misrepresentation.
Y'all hear that right there?
Now you gotta go.
Stop.
Yeah.
Don't
so,
stop.
so now you go for your citizenship and you end up leave without the citizenship and without your permanent resident status. So just always be truthful. Always be truthful.
Always.
Yeah.
That was a good
Especially with that.
Yep. And, you know, the big thing now that I see a lot of Jamaicans and a lot of Caribbean people get jammed up is their phone. So people don't understand this. When you are at a U.S. border, whether by sea, air, or land,
They can take your phone?
they can take your phone.
For real?
They can search you. So if you are in the U.S., meaning off the border, right, for a police to search you, all they need is probable cause. Right? Probable cause is
Suspicious of something.
is suspicion that you are about to commit some type of criminal activity. That's all they need to search your body, your person. At the border, it's not probable cause, it's reasonable suspicion. So reasonable suspicion means that you could just be sweating.
Damn.
You could just look shaky.
Whatever they
Yes.
Whatever they think. And they can take your phone, they can search your cavity. You know what that means?
No.
They can they can look in your butt.
Bati.
Yeah. You know? So and you don't have any rights because the minute you get to that border, you have given up those rights.
Damn.
So people don't understand that. So that phone thing. And once they go through the phone, I've seen them go through phone messages back 7 years and say, oh, you were talking to somebody about working in the US. That's a violation of your visa.
What
And boom,
the-
cancel your visa and send them home. I've had cases from European countries, from Canada, where they go through the phone for like girls traveling, they go through the phone and they say, it says here that this guy paid for your ticket and it seems like you paid for, that person paid for sex. That's prostitution.
Sexual work.
Nah.
Yeah.
You're talking about in detail conversations they're going into?
Yeah. And boom, visa canceled, send them home.
So cool. What's the next phase we're gonna see in this immigration world where you're gonna be like, yo, that can change the whole game. Like, no more passport, the eye scan now. Where you are here in that pipeline?
This nigga say ice scan.
No, I gotta get creative and ask him. So we know what I mean. I gotta find
He
out.
already doing the chips right there. So
That's
you
why I'm
ain't
asking him.
lying.
That's why I'm asking him because he must know something. Like, yo,
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
2030, they said they need, because 2030 they're gonna do the. I know he hears stuff as a lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, it's changing now. So I think that they're going to go to a lot more facial recognition, right? So where they'd be able to scan your face and all the information come up. Because I even know, right? I have global entry. So 2-3 years ago, global entry, you enter, you go through the different line, and you scan your eyes.
But I'm all in clear, man. They got me.
Yeah.
I'm all in there. Man.
Yeah. So they scan your eyes, boom. You go through, they check your passport, and you go no global entry.
Just walk straight to him.
You don't even have to pull out your passport. You just go. It scans your face. The officer gets all the information. Welcome back.
So cool. That makes me know that system's already in the airport.
It's already there.
It's just for the people that paid for it right now.
Yep.
We ain't
Exactly.
make it mandatory yet.
We ain't make it back.
Exactly.
Let's get a little extra bread off this that we put out real quick.
Test it out. Let's test it out.
We spent a little dollars out. We're gonna put it out real quick. Let's give some little bread.
And then there are some countries that that are allies with the US. So like when you go to Great Britain, you don't even need to pull out your US passport. The same facial recognition.
So cool. Me know people who come in, people passport, you know.
Yeah, man.
Literally.
Me too.
Okay, all right, then. See, yeah. I can tell you some crazy. You probably won't believe me. I've seen in the airport already. What I ain't seen stories.
Yeah.
Let me say it right. There's 13 people there, and there's 12 passports. You don't believe that, huh? Left from Jamaica, coming so clear for ID and everything.
Yeah.
13 youth on the 12 passport.
So what? So what I'm saying.
The entire it was freely. There was actually you actually came through with no check-ins.
So they ain't count for 13 people.
Yeah, West. They might check it serious.
Once I see 12 passports, all right, y'all go ahead now.
Yes.
I seen 12, 14,
So
two extra could go
it's
through.
changed a lot since 9/11 changed. 9/11
I
changed.
changed a lot of stuff.
9/11 changed
Yes.
everything, man. Because I mean, think about it. Before 9/11, you didn't have to take off your shoes.
You didn't have to
You
do
didn't have
nothing.
nothing. You just walk
You
in.
put whatever on the whatever
Exactly.
in there and pick it up when you
Liquids,
land.
anything.
And
But
what about next thing? So I gotta ask, like, with this human trafficking going on right now, that makes.
that changes
process-
the game as well. Yeah.
Do you come across a lot of that kind of?
Yeah. Yep. I did a seminar the other day that in terms of visas, people don't even know that you can get a green card if you are a victim of human trafficking, right? If you're a victim of human trafficking, but also involuntary servitude, meaning that if you were held against your will
And
to
forced
work,
to do stuff. Yeah.
you can get a green card that way. So because I've seen situations where, man, I'll never forget this one case that I did, but I got that case like my first year doing immigration, so I wasn't as sophisticated, and I wish I could help that lady. No, I mean, the lady was working for a very well-known politician here in South Florida, broken bones, working for $6-7 an hour. Just keep her in a little room, come out, give her food, wouldn't let her leave, you know? And at the time, I just didn't know how to help.
You didn't know.
I didn't know
tricks.
how to help that lady, you know? I passed it on to another immigration attorney, but for cases like that, there's definitely a way, you know?
Before I let you go, I want to ask you, what was one of the a case that you remember that you know you would never probably forget, like a case like that right there? Like,
So many, man. So many.
Give me a good one. Give me one of the best ones that you probably touched it the best. Or one that you probably thought that was going to be difficult and was challenging, but you still
Yeah, you was like, boy, that one, yeah, make it.
you forced yourself to make it work. Like,
So them one I can't even talk about it online.
sorry, okay, sorry. Apologies.
But man, I've seen some crazy cases, man. I mean, one of my proudest cases is a client got this is a good one. So client got caught with a gun in his car. Cop pulled him over. Of course, he doesn't have papers. He got detained for it. He was set to be deported. All right. So now we're in the trial, and I'm just trying to put on a show. So my job in defending him was to say that, he doesn't know whose gun it was. So the government attorney was questioning him and was like, do you know the name of the person that owned the gun, because I said he doesn't know who owned the gun, he didn't own the car, etc., etc. So the guy said, for example, he said, yeah, his name is Wagga. But so you say he's your friend, but you don't know his full name? And he said, no. So I jump in and say, sir, where you from? He said, Jamaica. I'm like, in Jamaica, most people don't know each other's full name. Yeah. Is that true or false, right? It's like, growing up, do most people have a nickname and you can go your whole life?
I call him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is possible.
Yes.
That he is a good friend of yours, but you just don't know the man's name. Mm-hmm. And it's from that I was able to build on the culture and say that there's no way he could have known that the gun was there. And
people didn't buy his story.
And the man get him green card.
Right, yeah.
That one, I was like, I couldn't believe that one, because normally with gun cases, yeah,
that was all you doing.
Yeah, that was a rap. The man balling, family ball. It was, so. And I mean, he's a good person. He's an upstanding citizen now, working, doing him thing. So, I love seeing cases like that. Love seeing cases like that, man. Crazy cases, man. Yeah, for all type of crazy cases. Some of them just can't even.
You always wanted to be a lawyer?
When I was in high school, I wanted to be a lawyer. And then because of being an athlete, it kind of distracted me. And then once I got rid of athletics, then it came back and I was like, you know what? I feel like this is definitely my purpose. They say if you find something to do where you love it and it doesn't feel like work, you found what your purpose is, and that is what it feels like for me. Like, it really doesn't feel like work. Like, yes, it can be stressful, but it doesn't feel like, I'm never like, man, I have to get up.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the thing. Yeah. No, it's like, yo, let's get it. How can we make it better? How can we grow? How can we reach more people?
Facts.
Yeah. So, yeah, man.
And how much law firms do you have? Actual law firms right now?
So we have offices now in Orlando, Kingston, Panama City Beach, New York. July we'll be opening in South Florida, and then Atlanta. So we just keep on growing.
How much lawyers how much people you have working for you?
Total staff now is 15. We have a couple of attorneys on staff.
Good, man. Y'all work, man.
Man, God is good,
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Man, so cool. Thank you so much.
And that's why, go back pan Mr. Trump again.
Talk about him. My friend got a question right there, but he's acting
it always burned me because, it's already challenging, somewhat challenging to overcome the stigma of being a person of color, but then for tag on you coming from somewhere else and sounding different. Like for me, for instance, I've had people walk into my office and ask me, where's the attorney? And I'm like, you see the name on the wall? That's me. And it's just because of the way how I look, 9 out of 10 times, people see me and I tell them what I do, and it's like this big surprise. Why is it a surprise?
But a reality, man. We don't see too much young niggas, man. It's just
true.
Facts is facts, man. We can't
exactly, and that's facts. But then adding on the accent,
come on,
And for me, if it's one thing, I remember my father teaching me, it's like, yo, wear your accent proud. Don't water it down for nobody. Not water it down. So, especially when I'm in court, when I'm talking to people, I make sure to keep it because I want them to know. Say, yo, you see, anybody that looks like me, they can be, they can
expect anything. Nigga.
Exactly. Yeah. And I always tell people, say, yo, one reason why I'm so proud to be Jamaican and I always rep Jamaica is because, growing up in Jamaica, you get to see people that look like me in government, in high position, in every type of position.
Yeah.
So, not even sky is the limit, So we can punch with the best of them. With anybody.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You said that when Trump talks about immigration, the only thing that he highlights is basically Mexicans and sex trafficking and murderers and stealers and stuff like that. What do you... This guy's crazy.
No, let's go, man. Are we not deleting it?
We are deleting it. What do you say, right, to those who basically is on the right, who say that there is a lot of sex trafficking that's happening through immigration, right? Like the numbers are pretty high. What do you say to those who say that the only reason why Trump is highlighting that the most is because it goes unseen, right? And maybe he's just trying to make a lot of Americans aware about it, because there's a lot of sex trafficking that's happening through Hollywood, that the CIA is behind, right? Not to be like a conspiracy theorist, but like there's a ton of information out there that shows otherwise. Like, what do you say to those people who basically say that Trump is trying to highlight those things and make it something that a lot of Americans need to know about when it comes to these immigration laws? Because a big reason why the left is protecting immigration laws is so they can keep trafficking people themselves. What do you say to those people?
Wow, that's a detailed question. I mean, for starters, in terms of sex trafficking, don't highlight Mexicans. I mean, the highest type of sex trafficking is not coming from Mexico.
Mexicans, yeah.
You have Asia and Europe. If you don't just single out one set of people, single out all. Plus, internally, it's crazy. It's where I mean, how is people like shows like Steve Hansen, people still getting caught? No. How are people still getting caught? Because it is a big issue that is internal and external. So talk about the whole thing. And if you're going to talk about rape and murder, I mean, those are escalating and prevalent issues that it's just, I mean, again, I'm not for any of that, but speak about the whole statistic. Don't make it seem like those issues, like the percentage is greater from immigrants versus the rest of the country. Yeah. So, I mean, I always say, look at the facts.
I like you talk about rapists, probably 8% immigrants, but the next 92 is people that live here.
Exactly.
I get what you're saying, brother.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got the next one, huh? Now you love it.
No. Like, I respect that, right? But, all right, so he's highlighting the Mexicans, right? What if during election year, political leaders are only attacking minorities like Mexican and black people through police brutality, racist stuff, racist propaganda? So what if that's the only card he can play, because that's basically what trends during election years, how they play with the Hispanics and how they play with the black people with like racism and things like that. What do you say about that part?
I mean, I feel like as a politician that you're trying to win a seat, you have to play to your base.
Yeah.
Right? If you look at, I mean,
True.
Anybody here, if you look at the red states, it's a certain type of people that
Sorry to say, man, poor white people, man.
that soak up a certain type of narrative. You know, if you're in blue states, you're going to hear a different type of narrative and resonate with a different type of narrative. So you would not be a smart politician if you're not playing into that. If you're trying to win votes. And that's just how the game is as a politician. You have to, I mean, you might go in there saying, oh, I'm going to save the country, I'm going to do right. But at the end of the day, the reality is you have to play to your party. You have to try to win votes. You have to speak to what they hear. Just like a DJ, when the DJ is select, the DJ is going to listen to what the crowd like and play the tune and what the crowd like. If he's playing tunes that the crowd don't like, he's going to get booed. And then not going to get booked again. So the politicians are DJs, man. They're playing what the crowd want to hear.
Does that make him a bad person, though?
I mean, bad is relative. Bad is a spectrum. I mean, what are you comparing bad to? You know, I mean, is he bad compared to other politicians? No, other politicians do the same thing. I mean, Biden tried for play to black people because he has to secure the black vote. So he's going to talk about police brutality. He's going to talk about
Ooh, I got a good one now. Just while I was going there, before you go. Who do you feel like is better on immigration stance, Democrat or Republicans?
I mean, historically speaking, Democrats have always been more pro-immigration. Like now in the Biden era, I mean, certain type of visas, it's the most they have ever been available. You know, you're getting more approvals. You know, so immigration tends to lean to Democrats.
I ain't gonna lie to you though, man. Right now, that boy Dr. Umar said a lot of them visas going for them white people because the white people in America right now, they losing. What he said, their numbers going down. In the next 10, 15 years, they're gonna be extinct.
Snakes again.
So he said the visas are going more to the white immigrant.
No, he said
saying that
he said the immigrant problem you see right now. Trust me, he said you might think it's a lot of black folks. He said no, it's a lot of Arabs,
Europeans,
coming in to help build up that white number.
Yeah.
Asians, Chinese, he said everything to build up that white number. Because he said, overall, it's going down. And I ain't gonna lie to you, if man talking so good, brother, I still ain't gonna research and see if he's talking the truth.
No, man. At the end of the day, you have two type of visas where, to just simplify, you have unskilled, skilled. Unskilled labor visas are people who come and clean, farmers, etc. Those numbers will always triple the numbers for skilled, which is the doctors and the professionals.
Okay, but the question I'm asking right now, are those numbers right now, immigration, the visas period, are they booming a lot more than they usually in the last 10, 12 years?
Significantly for unskilled.
That's what Umar talking about, man.
Yeah, but the unskilled are typically from less developed nations, from South America. So those numbers are always higher. But also, you have to look at it because of the pandemic, labor shortage. I mean, that plays into it as well. So they need it. People aren't working. I mean, every business owner that I know they say, yo, we're hiring and people not working.
My girl got a place right now, man. And
people aren't working. So, I mean, whose jobs are being taken? No, they're filling a void.
No, Americans don't want them jobs.
No.
Yeah, we don't want them jobs. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No.
It's true.
Them motherfuckers
somebody
don't
have to
want
do
them
it.
fucking jobs, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, attorneys are cool. Mr. Clarke.
It was a vibe, man. We have to do this again.
Thank you so much, man.
no
We have to do
pressure,
this
brother.
again, man. I
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
y'all for having me.
Shit, you come true, brother.
Much love. Much
Yeah, man.
love.
Just
Much
tell me
love.
to reach you at, man. Give me your IG handles, your Facebook, or your number.
All right, follow me on YouTube, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and it's at Attorney Sekou. You can hop on the website, clarkelawgroup.com, or you can give us a call if you need a consultation at 407-295-2138 or 888-1-PEOPLE.
Thank you.
Bless up.
Bless up, brother. Round the Way podcast, baby. Wrapping up another show.
Back out.
Yes, sir.